By the late Mesozoic era, the flowering plants had produced two great clades of species. One clade is known as the monocots, and that is distinct from the more common dicots. These two clades are typically different in the shape of their leaves, their roots, and their stems. Orchids are monocots, which are classified in the same order as irises and asparagus. And the family of orchids is quite large. In fact, with its about 28,000 species, it is either the largest or second largest family of biological organisms in terms of the number of species. This is more than half the number of species of all vertebrates just recognized as orchids. This number is 6 to 10% of all seed plant species and includes the plant which gives us vanilla. The angiosperm flower is formed by whorls of structures, an outermost whorl known as the sepals, and then a whorl of petals, and then the whorl of male and female parts. In orchids, the sepals, which in this first image is the outside whorl of flower parts, very often has the same coloration as two of the three petals. In most orchids, one of the three petals is modified. Its color is often distinct from those of the other petals and sepals, and this is often to attract pollinators, and it often has a different shape, very often as a landing platform for pollinators. This modified petal is known as the lip or labellum. There are also other features which define the orchids. In the flowers, the male and female parts are fused to form a structure known as the column, and the seeds are typically very small, lacking an endosperm. Given the vast number of species, it is not surprising that some orchids vary compared to others. So for example, they can vary in how they grow. In some, the stem grows more vertically, lengthening each year, while in others there are horizontal shoots coming from a stem which grows at the surface or underground, known as a rhizome. While some are rooted in the ground, others are epiphytes, which grow on the surface of other structures, such as trees, and produce aerial roots which never touch the ground. Some are saprobic and get their nutrients from decomposing material rather than photosynthesis, and it is typical that they have very complex interactions with fungi associated with their roots, known as mycorrhizal fungi. If one wants to plant orchids and desires that they are successful, one also then has to take into account that they depend on these mycorrhizal fungi.